Hey lovelies, being a fashion designer is not just to recreate other people's styles perfectly. I feel like being a designer is to create your own styles. Yeah, you heard me right. In this very video, I'll be showing you how to sketch or how I sketched and made this beautiful dress. All you need to do is sit back, relax, subscribe if you haven't, turn on the bell button so you'll be among the first to get notified anytime I upload a new video. And enjoy this video because it's going to be very educating. Thank you so much. Welcome back again, guys. So I already laid my fabric into two on my cutting table, so I'll go ahead and take my hip line measurement from the waistline. Just as it's saying, my hip line is 10. I'll go ahead and mark it. Please guys, in case I did not add any of the voice, just focus on the measurement. Everything is well detailed in this video. So I'll go ahead and mark my waistline, which is 7.5, my waist rather, which is 7.5. Then add 2 inches allowance for my seams, then I'll go ahead and mark my hip line, which is 10.5, and add 2 inches seams allowance. So for the down part, it's going to be pencil skate. For the down part, I went ahead and minus 1 inches from my hip measurement, which gave us 9.5, and I added half inches seams allowance, which gave us 10.5 for our down part. There's gonna be a pencil skate, so we don't really want it to be unnecessarily big. We want it to pens. So I'll just go ahead and cut out my front pattern as it's been showed right now on your screen. So I'll go ahead and lay my back piece. Please note that you're using the front pattern to cut out your back piece. If you don't cut 2 times, you cut once. If you cut the front, you use the front to pattern out the back. If you cut the back, you use the back to pattern out the front. So right now I'll go ahead and mark 1.5 inches for my zip allowance, which I've done. I'll just go ahead and cut out my back piece also. So right now I mark out my dash, which I took 4 inches for my waist. From the middle of my waist I took 4 inches, then I launched it. So right now I'll go ahead and mark 1.5 inches for the depth. Normal human body kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, that part I'm cutting right now, I marked 1.5 inches, then I slant it to the other part. So I just went ahead and launched my fabric very well, which is the dart measurement. So I'll just fold out this. We are done with the skirt, which is the front and the back piece of the skirt. That's front and the back piece of the skirt. I'll just go ahead and place my fabric right now to cut out my blouse measurement. So please, for this part, my waistline is 16 and let's say 17. My waistline is 17. So right now I'm marking my chest line. I don't want it to be that drop because I'm a little bit busty. I don't want my bust to be that showing, and I don't want it to be covered. So I just want it to be a little bit out, not too out. So I just went ahead and marked 6 inches for my chest line. My bust point is 11 inches, which I just did. Then my under bust is 13.5, which I just marked also. Then I go ahead and marked my waistline, which is 17. I added 1 inch for the seams allowance, which make it 18. So I just go ahead and label my measurement. We have the bust point, we have the under bust, and we have the waistline. Also we have the chest line, which is the first. Remember, it's about 2 lines there: the chest line, the bust point, the under bust, and the waist line. So right now I'm about getting my measurement, which is 10 inches. My bust is 40. Okay, so 10 inches, 40 divided by 4 is 10. Human part is divided into 4. If you're making top skirts, it's divided into 4, apart from trousers. So right now I'll just mark out my 10 inches measurement. Then for this particular video, I'll be adding 4 inches for my seams, extra 4 inches allowance for my seams. Okay, you can go ahead and add 3 inches, it's okay, but as for me, I'm adding 4 inches. I don't want to start my measurements now and everything is going to, when I'm about to, when I'm done with everything, I will reduce it if it's necessary. So right now I just went ahead to mark 4 inches for my dart measurement. Again, my straight princess dart measurement, I marked 4 inches in my chest line, 4 inches in my bust point, 4 inches in my under bust, then 4 inches in my waist line. So I'll just go ahead and mark everything together. So guys, after then I will take 1.5 inches under my bust point, then 2 inches in my waistline. This other part that you guys are not seeing, I took 1 inches for the other part, and I took 1 inches for the under bust part, so for that other part. Then for the upper part, I'll take 1 inch each for that part also. So right now just go ahead and sketch my line together, or join my lines together. I was just being very careful in this tutorial because I was also in class. Those are my students, the other one standing, and there's this other about 2 that you guys are not seeing. So I was just being very careful. I was also explaining to them. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and mark all my lines together, join on my lines together. So right now I don't, my bust point does not pens like that, so I just go ahead and curve my bust point. It was supposed to be curved, not pens, so I went ahead to curve my bust point to give it that perfect fitting that I love so much in my bust point, whatever. So yeah, basically that is what I am doing right now. So at this other part, which is the middle part, I'll just go ahead by taking 1 inch for the sweetheart curve. I'll just go ahead by taking 1 inch, then coming out by 1 inch, then going back inside by 1.5 inch. Yeah, this part I measured 1.5 inch. This upper part was 1 inch, not really 1, but let's say 1 inch. So I'll just remember I went in by 1 inch, come out by 1 inch, then went back inside by 1.5 inch. I'll just go ahead and cut out my fabric. Come on, look at that beauty. It's already given, trust me, it's already giving what it should give. So I just went ahead to launch my bust point, under bust, and every other part that is supposed to be launched. So this place I was trying to like cut out my back piece. Okay, remember we've gotten our front, we've gotten our skirt, remember it's remaining our back piece. So, and always remember that the back piece also carries the zip, except you don't want to use the zip, then you -2. But if you're going to put zip, is that you add 1.5 or 1 or 2 inch. I really don't, some persons might use 1 inch. It depends on what works for you. I prefer it being excess than it's not enough, and I feel like that is the beauty of every cloth. So for my back piece, I will go in by 10 inches. I want that back piece to be a little bit open, not even a little bit, I want it to be open. So I'll just go in by 10 inch. This part I marked is 10 inch, so I'm just going by 10 inch. So I was just trying to check my zip measurement that side, so I just went in by 10 inch, yeah, which is 10 inches off. Then I go ahead and mark my waistline, then add my seams allowance, which is also 18, just exactly what we cut at the front part. Mind you, we are still going to trim out our excess allowance. So I used my front bust point to get my back darts. I marked it out, which I went ahead to take half inch, this the right side half, the left side half, to get my that measurement correctly. So I just chop it out, and yes, remember we took 10 inches off from that down part to the upper part. We took 10 inches off. So right now we're going to add our 10 inches back, because there is this design I wanted to put at the back that will kind of cover it a little bit. So right now we're going to add our 10 inches back, but this time around we're not just going to cut 10 inches, we're going to add 1 inch for our seams. We always remember to add your seams allowance, so you won't get to mess anything up for yourself. So yeah, this other part already carries our zip allowance. That is why I adjusted it out a little bit. If you can see, this other part I'm measuring right now is not the same thing with this other part that is down. So I went ahead by getting my shoulder measurement, which was 16. So I went in for my shoulder to the armhole. Yeah, I took 7.5 inch. So I went in by 1 inch here, going in by 1 inch, and coming half inch and coming out by 1 inch. I just hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So I just cut everything out. I'll just go ahead and measure my neck, take my neck measurement rather. I took 3 inches. I feel like that's normal neck measurement. I don't want it to be too wide, I don't want it to be too open. That's normal neck measurement. So I took 3 inches wide, then 3 inches depth. Actually, I don't need this depth because I'm going to still cut out that part, but let's just use it to explain what we are trying to say better. So for this part I did not measure it. I did, but I feel like I measured 5. I forgot. I feel like I measured 5. I can't remember what I took, the measurement I took, but I feel like I measured 5 or 4 inches. It depends on how wide you want it. If you want it to be very wide, you can measure 6. You can measure 5. So for this back pattern, I feel like I'm done with this back pattern. The back pattern is complete. So let me just show you a little bit, or let me just I don't know what to say, but let me just show you how the back piece is going to look like. So that is basically how it is going to look like when I'm done joining all my pieces together. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. I know I'm a very bad explainer, but you guys should please just bear with me, and I hope you guys also understand what I am trying to say. Okay, so this is how our back piece is going to look like. I'm already loving this dress. In my head, God, this dress is fantabulous. I'm just trying my best to get to what I want. So that's basically my front and my back piece. You guys should remember that we've not cut out our off from the chest line upward. We've not cut it out. So that is what I'm about doing in this video. We took 6 inches off. So right now I marked out my 6 inches, then add 1 inch seams allowance. Then I marked my shoulder measurement also, which is 16 inches, that's 8. Then I added half inch seams allowance. I went down by taking 7.5 inches for my armhole measurement. I went in by half inches, then came out by 1 inch, just the same way we did at the back. So yeah, for the design I want to put at the front, it's going to be kind of open. So I marked 6 inches. You can mark 4 inches. You can mark, sorry, you can mark 5 inches if you want. You can even mark 7 inches depending on how open you want it to be. But for this, I don't want it to be too open and I don't want it to be too close. So I marked 6 inches allowance. Then I went ahead to get my neck measurement, which is 3 inches, just the same pattern we did at the back, 3 inches. So I'll just mark my chalk on it, then draft it out, also cut it out rather. At this point I felt like what I did, the measurement I took, it was kind of not giving me what I wanted. I added another half inch allowance to give me that perfect look I am looking for. So the remaining thing we are to cut now is our peplon. Okay, so this is my own pattern of peplon. I feel like this is the fullest peplon ever. So I will just go ahead and fold my fabric into 2 like this, just as if I want to cut normal fabric, normal clothes. Fold it into 2. This, I feel like this is maybe, I think they call it 360 or 720 peplon, the fullest peplon. I think, yeah, I think it's 350, 360 rather. So I'll just go ahead, I folded it into 2. Then I'll go ahead and fold it again, just as it's being showed right now. I'll go ahead and fold it like this, equal. It must be equal. That is into 4. We already have 4. What we are trying to do in this video is to get out 2 peplon, because I do join my peplon to give it that perfect look. So I folded it again. That is into 8. So each peplon is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So right here we have 2 peplons, so we folded it again, which is giving us 16. This one is 16 right now, which is giving us 16 divided by 2, which is 8 rather. Yeah, 16 divided by 2, which is 8. So just because I was explaining in class, also I had to take off 16 inches, sorry, I had to take off 16 inches to explain better for them to understand it, that okay, we are taking off 16 inches, which was our up measurement. Then my normal top measurement is 24. I took off 16 inches measurement and I marked 25, for half inch for seams allowance for the waistline, the half inch for the joining at the bottom. So I just went ahead to draft out my 25 inches completely, so it will give me that perfect cut. So for this other part, I did not measure it, but you can take 2 inches, you can divide your waist, sorry, you can divide your waist into 16. Then anything you get, you just can get that waist part. That is just the simple arc for that one. Divide your waist into 16, because we are cutting, our pieces is being folded into 16, so you have to divide it to 16 to get your measurement. Then you mark it. Honestly, look at the peplon, it's already giving what it should give. Thank you so much for watching. My next video, I will show you the complete tutorial of this video. Okay, so hopefully I see you again in my next video. Till then, please stay subscribed so you get notified when I upload the next one. Thank you. Peace.